Greetings, GISD community. This is Dr. Stewart with another Student Spotlight. Today, I have with me Joselyn Gutierrez, senior here at Gainesville High School. Jocelyn, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining me for the interview today.
Yeah, of course.
Look forward to getting to know a little bit more about you, okay?
Yes.
All right, let's jump into our questions. All right, so let's get to know a little bit more about you. Tell us about yourself and your family.
Well, I'm Joselyn Gutierrez. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a senior here at Gainesville High School. I'm very much into all academics. I like to continue to be top 10% in my class. And also on the side, I love theater. It's an absolute passion, and it's something that I look forward to in the future. My mom works at St. Mary's, and my dad and my brother are actually working on their own concrete company. And so they just started this year, and it's been going well. And I have a younger brother at St. Mary's. He's in 5th grade, and he's all about soccer. He loves it. He actually can't wait for the World Cup. So ready for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. So how long have you been a student at GISD, and how has your time been here?
So I started my freshman year, and I've been here through all that time, and it's actually been amazing. I loved it. There are so many opportunities, academic opportunities, and just extracurriculars. And I went to a really small private school before, and so it opened a wide door for me to push myself and to be out there. And even with the dual credit programs, that's been a wonderful opportunity as well.
Well, and thank you for sharing that because, here in GISD, that's one of our core components, and one of our key goals is trying to provide students with opportunities. We understand every kid is not going to be the starting quarterback, or every kid is not going to be the lead in the one-act play, or, every kid is not going to be, the valedictorian or the salutatorian. But
Right.
we want to provide opportunities, both academic and extracurricular, for kids to kind of find their own niche. So I'm glad to hear that within your 4 years here that you have been able to enjoy lots of those opportunities.
Yes.
So what is your most memorable year? I would say campus, but you've only been at one campus. So your most memorable year and teacher.
My most memorable year is gonna have to be sophomore year. During that time, there was a lot of difficulty within the theater department because we had our director leave. But even though for it being such a difficult challenge and just being difficult all over the place, it helped me become a stronger person. And it pushed me to be more out there and to take lead as a leader and help people within the department. Because it was really a rough time, but thankfully we had Mr. Nanny come in, and he was a blessing in disguise. He was absolutely amazing. And it just really helped us. And so I'd say that was a memorable year.
Okay. So now, Jocelyn, let's shift gears and let's talk a little bit about school. And I'll start off with this one because this is the big change this year that really just kind of took GISD as well as many other school systems by storm, and that's the no cell phones in schools. What are your thoughts about the not having phones in the classrooms?
As shocking as it sounds to many people, I don't mind it. I think it's a good change because now I like seeing myself that now I start working more in class and it's not a distraction. And also with social media and everything, when you take social media in school and you mix it together, it just doesn't work out. Because social media is such an impactful platform that when you use, say, your cell phone with social media and everything in school, it just distracts you. And it just creates a very different environment. And so I've actually really liked the change. It has pushed me to become a more achieving student, and it's done me really good.
Well, and thank you for sharing that. I mean, again, I've had lots of conversations surrounding this topic, both inside of Gainesville as well as students that I know out in other school districts as well as leaders in other districts. And, overwhelmingly, the common response has been our students are now more focused. And that's what we want in the classrooms. We want our kids to be more focused in the classrooms, focus on their academics. And again, when you talk about the social media component or just that socialization piece, there's ample time to do that. I mean, no different than us as adults. I have 8 hours a day that I got to go to work, If I want to get on social media or do anything phone related, I can always do that after work. Okay, so I'm glad to hear you share that. So, what has been the highlight of your high school journey specifically?
I think the highlight of my high school journey is UIL. I've competed in UIL one act play, and I've done prose and poetry, and it's just really great because you don't get that when you go to college. And so I'd say that's a highlight because one act play, it kind of gives you a little look into how it'll be in college because you're working every single week and you're putting all your time and dedication to it. And so I would say UIL is the highlight because it's really fun and it's a great academic activity and it just pushes you, and I like that.
Okay. So now let's flip the script on this one. What has been the most challenging thing you've experienced here in high school?
I think the most challenging thing is probably the dual credit program. I started my junior year and I had two classes. I had an English one and a history one. And that English one was so difficult. It gave me a run for my money. I find it was just a hard class, but the time management, it kind of threw me off because it was scary entering into that college class because it's a higher level and it is scary. And so I'd say that was difficult, but once my first year went through, it's a smooth run because you already have an idea of how it'll be the next year, but also it gives you the primary structure of how college is going to be. And I think that's important for high schoolers to experience at a really young age because then they'll walk into college feeling a little bit more stress-free about it.
And you make a very, very valid point. You know, as you talk about getting acclimated to the rigor or the expectations of a college course. In high school, you know, your teachers kind of grab your hand and kind of pull you along the way. Well, when you get to to college, even though you're a high school student, those college professors, it's either you're going to do it or you don't do it. And if you don't do it, then you suffer academically. So it really teaches you the things like time management, organization, etc., to help you be successful in those college classes. And you're right. Once you get that first taste of success, and you understand the expectations of you as a student, whether you're a high school student or a college student, then that definitely helps set you up for success as you take additional college classes.
Yes.
Okay. So, Joselyn, and I know you're a very active young lady here at Gainesville High School, but talk to me about what extracurricular activities you're involved in, both in school and outside of school.
Yes. Well, I've been a cheerleader for all 4 years of high school. I was on JV for 2 years and varsity on 2 years. I've also been in theater for all 4 years. Absolutely love it. I'm currently the president for our troupe, and so it's been very fun working with all the students and coming up with events to get more people to join. I've also been a part of NHS and Key Club, love community service. I would go to Visto and do the dash deliveries, so it was very fun. And I'm also part of Talent Search, which amazing program to help students get ready for college. Absolutely amazing. And out of school, I still do community service, but I also am a part of St. Mary's Catholic Church. And so I've been recently going to the masses, helping with some singing and stuff like that.
Okay. So, in essence, just a very busy young lady.
Yes.
So you talked about, you know, the opportunities earlier, the dual credit opportunities earlier that you provided here in Gainesville ISD and how thankful you are for those opportunities. Talk to me about your journey in the NCTC dual credit program and how you've benefited.
Well, I started junior year, and it was a hard year to get through. But I got to give it to my planner. My planner, it saved me. It really did, because it helped me plan a little bit more. And I started checking it more frequently and everything. But one of my main things was using my planner and really just asking English teachers or history teachers for help. I know Mr. Glover would help me study for that exam, and I would do really good. And then I'd have Ms. Dill help me with some of my English stuff. And so it has benefited me in the ways that I can time manage now. And that I know I have resources, not only online resources, but here at Gainesville, I have resources as well.
Okay. So, how has Gainesville High School prepared you for college?
Gainesville High School has prepared me by the staff that we have, amazing staff, and talent search. Shout out to Miss Rachel and all her advisors. They're doing a phenomenal job, and they're like, at the moment, they're rebuilding the program, and they've done really good. They've helped me with college applications, with scholarships, and they've just helped me with finding resources and everything. And so they very much helped me.
And I would say, and this is the same thing that I talked to, Addison about, and I've talked to I can't tell you the number of students I talked to, especially my seniors. When you talk about scholarships, I mean, you need to be applying for every scholarship under the stars and moon, okay?
Yes.
I mean, it's lots, there's millions upon millions upon millions of dollars of free money out there that require our kids only really to apply, develop an essay and apply. And so I strongly encourage you as you now enter into this halfway point of your senior year, because it's scholarship time now,
Yes.
to really start getting in and digging in and applying for as many scholarships as you possibly can.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to students to help them maximize their experience here at Gainesville High School?
I would say take it all in. Take all the programs in. Take every opportunity GHS offers. Because we only have 4 years in high school, and as a senior, I still remember freshman year, but it went by so fast, and now we only have 1 semester left. And so I'd say take in all the opportunities, get as many classes as you can done, both in high school but in college. And so with the dual credit program. And so I just say take it all in. Spend time with your friends, do your academic activities, your extracurricular activities, and you'll be golden.
So speaking of your freshman year, so when you look back, when you were a freshman here at Gainesville High School, what advice would you give yourself?
I think the advice that I would give myself is to step out of my comfort zone and look at all the opportunities more, but also know your self-worth. Because as a freshman, I was very shy, and I didn't really push myself out there, and it wasn't until sophomore year. And so I wish freshman me would have known that, because I would have joined more programs sooner, and I would have sought more opportunities and had more opportunities my freshman year, and just knowing in myself that I should be confident and to just push myself out there, because there's an abundant amount of opportunities, and you just have to step forward and take them.
Gotcha. Well, now let's talk about the future now. What are you going to miss the most about being in high school?
I think I'm going to miss my friends, but also just all the teachers that I've been with. They've been all very nice and generous, and they have helped me become the person I am now. And it's hard when you make connections for all 4 years, and then it kind of just slowly goes away a little bit. But I'll always be in contact, but it's one of the things I'll miss.
And I'll tell you, of course I graduated just a few years ago from high school. That's a joke. But I'll say, you look at the means, of course you look at what's available technology-wise that you have, available to you as far as keeping in contact with your classmates. Of course, when I came through many, many moons ago, we didn't have nearly half as many technology advancements that would help us to keep in contact with it. It was the old snail mail, or you pick up a phone and you call people. Now you have all the social media platforms, and the list goes on and on and on. So I would say that's key. I mean, as you develop these friendships that you have over the last 4 years, that when you graduate in May and everyone starts to go their different ways, that you find that way to stay in contact with those that are near and dear to you. You'll find a way.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's so on the flip side, as we talk about college, what are you looking forward to the most about college?
I'm looking forward to just already getting into starting my career, because I have big dreams, and they're big dreams that I want to fulfill. And so I'm ready to just go to college and get that career going and get the experience of how my career will be in the future.
Okay. So do you know where you'll be attending college in the fall? If not yet decided, what are your top choices?
Well, I applied, my top school is TCU. I applied in December, and I should be hearing very soon from them. So, but that would be my top choice. But I've also applied to TWU and MSU and also OU. And so, but if my top choice is TCU.
Okay. So what do you plan on studying at TCU?
I don't know which one I'll major or minor in yet, but I plan to go into the business entrepreneurship route, but also into the theater route with film acting, acting on stage, musical theater, Broadway. And so yeah, that's the big goal.
Okay. So so being TCU being your top choice, why TCU?
Okay, this is a story. So freshman year, I was doing volleyball, and our coach took us to one of the TCU versus Texas Tech games. And I remember we were just walking around the campus, and we went into the gym, and I was like, wow, like this looks like something from a movie. It's so nice and everything, and the environment was just amazing. And so when I started in the summer looking at colleges, I was like, I went to TCU. I saw a little bit about it. Let me learn more about it. And the more I learned about it, I noticed that it was one of the schools in the area that offered business entrepreneurship. And that's what I specifically want to go into because I would love to own my business one day and just help people with the product that I make. And so that's what drove me a little bit to TCU.
Remember, interesting thing about that game? There was somebody else from Gainesville ISD that was at
Yes,
that game. Who was that?
Was it your daughter?
It was my daughter. She played Lyric.
Lyric? Oh my gosh, Lyric Stewart!
Yeah, because I came over and sat with you all for a minute.
Yes, I
at
do
the game.
remember.
All right, so Jocelyn, what are your short-term goals?
My short-term goals would be getting into college, graduating high school, top 10% of my class, and just getting into college and just getting ready for it.
Okay, so and you kind of talked about this earlier, but I'm going to go back to it. What are your long-term goals?
My long-term goals is to graduate college, but then after, just hit the ground running, starting with looking for audition opportunities for theater and starting a business with my mom and getting into all those aspects of it.
Well, Zoe, you got me saying Zoe now.
It's okay.
But Jocelyn, there is no doubt in my mind that, you've been a very successful young lady while you're here at Gainesville High School. And there's no doubt in my mind that will continue to follow you as you transition, whether it's TCU, TWU, MSU, OU, wherever you land, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to continue to make us proud. Just don't forget about our small people when you make it big on Broadway. Don't forget about the small people here in Gainesville, Texas. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, Jocelyn, I've done a lot of talking. I've asked you a lot of questions, and thank you for allowing me to learn a little bit more about you today.
Yeah, of course.
So this is the point in the interview where I like to allow the student to ask me any questions that they may have. Do you have any questions for me today?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
What is a piece of advice or something inspirational you would tell all the seniors who are about to graduate and really go into the real life?
That's a great question. I would first of all say, and you kind of hit on this, I'd really say you have to understand self-worth. There's going to be things that you do in life, whether you go off to post-secondary education, go off to the armed forces, or in many cases, our kids go out into the real world, that there may be a self-doubt, or, I was talking to a student not too long ago, and they talked about they wanted to live in Dallas, but they were scared to move to Dallas. Well, Dallas is just like Gainesville. It's just bigger.
Right.
So the great things that student is doing here in Gainesville, Texas, they could do that times 10 in Dallas. And so it's really understanding your self-worth and being confident and not afraid to go out there and to do things that may not be comfortable with you. That would be my biggest piece of advice, because I'm telling you, success in this world and day and age is not easy. But if you work hard, plan and keep your nose clean, you can do anything in life that you so aspire to do. Whether it be own your own business, be a star on Broadway, or be a contributing member of society. there's so many avenues for success. We just have to be willing to accept that and again, come up with our game plan, work our tails off, and keep our nose clean. And there's no doubt in my mind that, again, every one of our kids will find success wherever they may land. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. Be self-confident. Don't be afraid to take those risks. Get out there and go take the world by storm. That's what I want. That's what makes me proud. When I look back, and it's now been in my 8th year here, many of my kids have started, I say many, we have a lot that have graduated college. Many have gone to the military, and many have gone into the workforce, and they're doing great things. That makes me proud. I feel like a proud papa at the end of the day. So, don't fear the challenge, but challenge the fear.
I love that. I agree, because fear is one of the things that stops us.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't. I think you should go in walking in confident, because everything you tell your brain listens to. So if you tell yourself, oh, I won't be able to do this, I'm not going to succeed, I'm not going to go anywhere, well, that's what your brain feeds in. And so you have to say out loud, I am confident, I will strive and succeed, and that's all you got to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to add one more piece to that. And I would say, as you begin to really find your way, you land at TCU or you land on Broadway, I always talk about iron sharpens iron, okay? It comes from the Bible, but, basically what it means is, surround yourself with like-minded individuals, people that are aspire to do great things, people that, like-minded individuals that are in the business field or in the theater field. Because, for me personally, I like to surround myself with people who, number one, I can teach something to, but number two, that I can learn something from. And that's where the phrase iron sharpens iron, because as you surround yourself with those people, those like-minded individuals, their skill set may be a little bit different from you. You may be able to learn a thing or two from your surrounding circle, but also they may be able to learn something from you as well. So I think that's an important characteristic to have as well, to be able to don't always want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't always want to be the smartest person in the room. In many cases, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'm just being very honest. But I learn things from all the people that I surround myself. Superintendents from large school systems, superintendents from small school districts. I'm in the room with all of them. So it's like a huge think tank, and I love being in having those opportunities to learn. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you again. Great question. Well, Gainesville community, Joselyn Gutierrez, senior here at Gainesville High School.